Welcome back to Sportsline. If you said C, John Evans, you answered our Papa Murphy's Sportsline Stumper question correctly. John V. Evans was the governor in 1986 when the Tigers and Grizz played their first overtime game in the now 51-year-old rivalry. Your other choices, George Shoup was the first governor of Idaho. Frank W. Hunt was the first Democratic governor. That was in 1901. And Butch Otter is our current governor. Okay, let's go back to the Dome and Julia Cox. Julia, Idaho State opens its conference schedule tomorrow.
Yeah, Jeff, the Idaho State football team will host Sacramento State tomorrow for their first conference game of the season. And Coach Kramer is calling it actually the second part of their season. Now, the defense is going to have to deal with two dual-threat quarterbacks.
They're multiple on offense. They have a young sophomore quarterback who they subbed for last week at the end of the game. He hasn't really found himself quite yet on a day-in, day-out Big Sky varsity level. Well, they run a divergent offense, and I say that word divergent because they divide in the middle. They get the left side to go to the left and the right side to go to the right, and then they run downhill in the middle of the field. So kind of a multiple run package that we see so much now in college football, especially at quarterback. The more football changes, the more it stays the same. We keep going around and around in this big circle. It seems that more quarterbacks now run the ball. What are we playing around here? Single wing?
Sacramento State is 0-3 so far this season with losses against Western Oregon, Fresno State, and Weber State. Combined, the Hornets' quarterbacks are completing less than 50% of their passes, and the team is averaging about 307 yards of total offense, while their defense is allowing 445 yards per game.
They began the season in a 3-4 defense. They've morphed back into their more familiar 4-2 defense. They play 3 safeties, 2 corners, and they rock and roll their safeties. You know, last year they played pretty conservative against us and waited for us to burn ourselves down, and we obliged. Because we went up and down the field, but we got into the red zone, and we had an interception that Madison caught on the 2-yard line, and he rolled out of bounds, and when they stood up, the Sacramento State defensive back had the ball, and we lost the scoring opportunity on that drive. And then we went down a couple series later, and Tanner threw a pick into the end zone, and then we threw another pick into the end zone. So we missed a lot of opportunities last year going up and down the field, but you have to be able to cap drives, not with field goals, but with touchdowns.
There is some good news for the offensive line. Both Chase Collins as well as Brian Finiaganofo are available to play after missing the first 3 weeks of the season. Collins, neither one of them are expected to start. Collins is actually expected to get quite a bit of playing time. Finiaganofo likely will not see the field. Also expected back tomorrow is senior linebacker Hayden Stout after missing the last game. Jeff, back to you.
Thank you very much, Julia. Now to the Mountain West. The Boise State Broncos put their undefeated record on the line Saturday as they travel into Pac-12 country in Corvallis. The Broncos visit Oregon State for a 1:30 Mountain Time kickoff. Playing against Pac-12 teams seems to be familiar territory for BSU. Since 2006, the Broncos have a 9-3 record against teams in that conference. Now the Broncos are just 3-5 against the Beavers in their 8-game history. But the BSU players say they're out to prove Boise State and the Mountain West aren't as weak as some might perceive.
A lot of people obviously think Mountain West isn't as strong as the other conferences out there, so that's how we gain our respect. I feel like we step up to the challenge well in the past, and you see the history of Boise State. We've done a great job stepping up to the challenge when we play a Pac-12 team, but we've got to continue to bring that mindset whenever we play any Pac-12 team.
The Beavers beat Boise State in their last matchup. That was the 2013 Hawaii Bowl. That was after Coach Chris Peterson left for Washington. Since then, the Broncos are 23-6 overall, while Oregon State just 8-18.
We're losing the series between us and Oregon State, and that's something that we focused on and something we're going to go out and trying to fix. That's that chip on the shoulder that you have to find every single game, whether, you know, whoever it is you're playing, you've got to find something that will allow you to kind of create an edge for yourself.